Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to be focusing on 4.9 systems of equations. Now, kind of important to point out, okay, when we're talking about systems of equations, it's when you have more than one equation. Okay, so like systems means multiple, plural. Okay, so there are three big ways to do systems of equations. There's graphing, substitution, and elimination. I'm going to show you each of these. Okay, so let's get to it. For the first one, if you're going to do graphing, you need to get y by itself. This is why the last lesson was so important. For the first one, if you subtract x over, you get y equals negative x plus 4. If you subtract 2x over, you get negative 2x plus 5. Alright, for this first graph up here, my y-intercept, remember, y equals mx plus b. Your y-intercept is 4. This is your origin. We go up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Plot a point. Okay. My slope is negative 1. You go down 1, over 1, plot a point. Once you have 2 points, you can draw a line. Okay. So, like so. Perfect. Okay. Y equals negative 2x plus 5. I go up to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boom. Down 2, right 1. So down 2, right 1. Connect your dots. Now, here's the cool thing about graphing, okay? X marks the spot. Where these points hit is your solution. So this hits at to the right 1 up 3. My answer is 1, 3. Okay? That's it. This can be difficult to, this is actually my least favorite out of the three methods, but strictly because it's sometimes hard to pull off. So let me show you guys one more example here. I'm going to show you the calculator this time. If I subtract 3x over, okay, and if I divide everything by negative 2, I'll get 3 over 2x minus 1, okay? There's my first one. And then my second graph, if I subtract 6 over, x minus 6 equals negative 2y, divide everything by negative 2, negative 1/2 x plus 3, okay? Alright, check this out. These are the steps you can take for this. You go to y equals. This is y, everything's already in y equals form. I type this in, 3/2 x. Oops. Okay, minus 1. I type in my next one, parentheses, negative 1 over 2x plus 3. I hit graph. Okay, now here's a good thing for you guys to see. This is a really, really weird graph, so I'm going to hit zoom, and the number 6 is standard. Alright, I want where they hit. So they hit right around there, but here's the cool thing. If you hit second, trace, here's a button that says intersect. If you scroll down to number 5, enter. It says first curve, enter. Second curve, enter. Guess. It actually tells you my answer is 2, 2. Okay. So if you get good at that, which I'll be glad to show you in class if you'd like, you can actually just kind of bypass the whole thing, and there you go. Okay. Something important for you guys to take note of. Sketch what the graphs would look like for a system of equations with the following. One solution means a graph that hits at one point. X marks the spot. Okay? No solution is when you have a graph where the lines never intersect. What kind of lines never intersect? Well, parallel lines. Okay? Good old geometry. Infinite many solutions is when you have a line that overlaps the other line. So it's the same exact line. Alright, so just something to keep in the back of your mind. Okay. Alright, that was graphing. Substitution. Now, substitution is pretty good. Substitution, you need to be able to get an x or a y by itself. Alright. So for my first one here, 2x equals 8. Cool. You can actually solve that. Divide both sides by 2, x equals 4. And all you do is you substitute it back in. Everywhere I see an x, I put a 4 in for it. So 4 plus y equals 2. Subtract 4, y equals negative 2, boom. You have 4 and negative 2, you want to write it out as a point. Okay, done. And that was a little bit easier. It can get a little bit tougher. So if you look at this one, now the goal is you want to get x or y by itself. I'm looking at my top one. I want to get y by itself. So I'm going to add x over. Y equals x plus 1. Everywhere you see a y in the bottom part, so 2x plus something equals negative 2. I'm replacing this y with x plus 1. 2x plus x is 3x, subtract the 1 over, oops, sorry, plus 1, I'm jumping ahead, my apologies. Subtract 1, divide by 3, x equals negative 1. Okay, cool. We got to plug it back in. If I plug this back in, you can pick either one you want. I'm actually going to plug it back in up top here because this is really nice to work with. Negative 1 plus 1 is 0. So my final answer is negative 1, comma, 0. Done. Okay, very cool. Now, I showed you guys graphing. I showed you substitution. Okay, I'm going to show you elimination pretty soon. Now, before I get to that, real quick, I'm going to show you guys an application problem. Your school is planning a 5-hour outing to the beach. The boardwalk rents bicycles for $8 per hour and skates for $6 per hour. Total budget per person is $34. How many hours should each student spend during each activity? Okay, so we're going to call X number of hours for bicycle. Okay, we're going to call Y number of hours per skates. So my first one, easy one's always the money. Money. 8X plus 6Y equals $34. Now the second thing is you have 5 total hours you can do. Well, I know X is the number of hours bicycle riding. Y is the number of hours that we're doing skates, and it has to equal 5. Cool. Setting those equations up is the hardest things. X is number of hours. Yikes, that's bad. Bike. And then Y is number of hours. Skates. I seem to can't write the word hours. Okay. Well, we're going to do elimination here, so I'm going to pick the bottom one. I'm going to do X equals 5 minus Y. Alright, so now I'm going to plug this back into my top one. 8 times 5 minus Y plus 6Y equals 34. I can distribute it in. 40 minus 8Y plus 6Y equals 34. Negative 8Y plus 6Y gives me negative 2Y. I can subtract 40 over. Careful with your signs. Negative 2Y equals negative 6. Y equals 3. So 3 hours, that is for my Y, which is skates. 3 hours skates. Which means that for my X, that would be, think of it just like right here, 2 hours bike. Okay? Good stuff. So boom, boom. I know I wrote out points before, but for a word problem, you don't really need to do that. Okay. Elimination. Okay. Oh my goodness gracious. I'm so sorry. This should say elimination on it. My apologies. Please forgive me. Please cross it off and write the word down, elimination. This is the greatest thing ever. Okay, use the elimination method to solve the system. If you can add together, you can subtract together equations. And so for the first one, check out how nice this is. If you add these two equations together, see the thing is you don't want an equation with an x and a y in it, all right? Because that makes it really difficult to solve. So when I look at my first equation, 2x minus y equals negative 8, I can't do anything with it. But when you add these two equations together, 2x plus 2x gives you 4x. Negative y plus y cancels out, which is a good thing, equals negative 8 plus 4 is negative 4. Hooray, because now I can solve this. Divide by 4, x equals negative 1. And then plug it back in. So if I plug it back in, I'm going to go with the top one. So 2 parentheses negative 1 minus y equals negative 8. Multiply them together. Negative 2 minus y equals negative 8. Add 2 over. Negative y equals negative 6. Divide both sides by negative 1. Y equals 6. Alright, so my final answer here is negative 1 comma 6. Now, they get a little trickier. Look at the next one. Darn it. Okay, I can't just add them because one's a negative, one's positive. But you are allowed to subtract them. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite this so you guys can see this. The first one stays the same, but when you subtract it, all of your signs flip. Negative y plus x equals 3. Now when you add them together, cool, the y's cancel out. Negative 2x plus x is negative x. Negative 5 plus 3 is negative 2. X equals 2. Okay, I'm going to plug it back into my bottom equation. Y minus 2 equals negative 3. Add 2, y equals negative 1. So my final answer here is 2 comma negative 1. Good stuff. This is the hardest one, I say in a kind of, I don't know, it's not too bad, but you're going to notice that I can't add or subtract these to cancel out an x or a y. But you are allowed to do something pretty cool. See how there's a positive x up top here? All right. Down low I have a negative 3. I would love for there to be a 3 in front of this x so that when I add them, they cancel out. Well, good news for us. You are allowed to multiply an equation through by a constant. So if I do that, 3x plus 6y equals negative 6. It's the same value, okay? I gave it a different look. The bottom equation is negative 3x minus 6y equals 6. Let's add them together. Cross off, cross off. If they cross off, you still have 0 there. Negative 6 plus 6 is 0. Does 0 equal 0? Good. This is infinite many solutions. You don't get this very often, but if you get like a number equaling a number and it makes sense, it is infinite many solutions, okay? Cool. All right. Postcard stamps are 33 cents each, whereas regular stamps are 46 cents each. If they have 36 stamps worth $15.52, how many stamps of each type would you like? I'm going to call postcards X. I'm going to call regular Y. 0.33x plus 0.46y equals 1552. Money, money, money. Okay? The other thing is always x plus y equals how many total stamps do we have? 36. I want something to cancel out. I'm going to multiply the bottom one by negative 0.33. Man, things like to pop up on my desktop. You know that? So, top equation stays the same. Okay? The bottom one, negative 0.33x minus 0.33y equals, please bear with me here, if I do 36 times negative 0.33, I get negative 11.88. If I add these together, crosses off, this gives me 0.13y. Man, I'm telling you, it just likes to put a good joke on me. If I do 1552 minus 11.88, I get $3.64. Divide by 0.13. That's a really, really bad 0.13. I'm sorry. Divide by 0.13. And we get that y equals 28 stamps. And that's going to be the regular stamps. Okay? If I want x, if I do 36 minus 28, I'll get 8 postcard stamps. Okay? So, good stuff. Thank you for hanging in there. I do apologize to you guys. Sometimes I go a little bit fast in these videos, but I don't know if you realize this or not. I have to keep them under 15 minutes. So if there's something on here I'm going too fast on, please don't hesitate to come on up and ask me for help. Even if you just can't read my handwriting, because my handwriting is pretty garbage. But yeah, so guys, keep up the good work as always. Thank you. Good luck. We're all counting on you.